We're in Texas for the first time in a long while. It's Arnett Badness on pole from Sebastian Ocampo and Revo. Then it's U-Cable, Pastor Maldonado, and Eprix down in 6th. Then it is MF One World and his teammate Theodore Schumacher, Dash Sanchez, and David Camino. Wallace Leclerc starts 11th from Leo and Marcus Nelson. Then it's Yuki Suo, Uvachi Chantan, and Bob starts 16th. Then it's Gabo in 17th. Tiguana's alongside. Daniel Baltasaro, Salas Kynes, iWorld, the 21 starts 21st, and Milrez. Shut up. So, with only a handful of rounds left to go in this championship, Austin could be a major turning point. All 5 lights go on. Here we go, green in Austin for the 12th round in season number 15. Revo, according to our transponders, has drawn level with Ocampo, but Ocampo is going to have a much better run through turn number 1 then. And into the wall goes Ocampo, Fabulous with the time penalty. And, he's hit. Both hyperdrives in trouble over there. And does Ocampo have any damage? Ocampo with no damage there. Milrez with the time penalty. Yeah, and it's 5 wide coming out of turn number 1. And we've had no DNFs coming through that first turn, so it sure looks very hairy for the number 1 car, currently leading the way, 1.1 seconds ahead of Revo, who was only 6 tenths ahead of his teammate. The boy who could in Akari, he's currently in 6th position, and he gained nothing from that opening lap skirmish. He needs as much as he can get for the rest of this race. Dash Sanchez draws a level with MF1 while Bob with a time penalty. They're hitting the back of Yuki Suo. Milrez finds his way up into 14th now, drawing level with Vashi Chantan. He could even try and send it also on Gabo. But let's see where that Renault is. There is the Renault side by side with Gabo coming through the final sector now. And it's all about where you position your car here if you want to try and make the move. And you've got to be much safer than usual. Salas Kynes further back trying to get past the Nissan Nismo car of Vashi Chantan, but he's just not close enough to do it anymore. On to lap 2 of 14 we go. It's Ocampo from Revo from Badness as we rise towards turn number 1. Biggest rise into any turn on any of our calendars. It always has been in Austin. Maldonado up into 4th. Akari just watching back now, and he tries to attack both cars ahead of him. He's going to get ahead of U-Cable, and he swoops to the inside to get ahead of Pastor Maldonado as well. He's going to come under threat from both cars up behind him due to him not being able to use attack mode. But if he can close it up to the back of the hyperdrive car down the straight, which he hasn't been able to do, he could have been able to defend. So now he's only got 14% of his attack charge to use, excluding, regen. But Maldonado going to have to try and close in quite a bit. Even think about doing a late lunge on that Pinnacle car ahead of him. That is David Camino currently in 9th position, holding up, and everyone from 10th back. His teammate also on the hard sides. MF1 World, Leo, and iWorld all on the hard sides. It's still a very close grid, apart from Ocampo, who's currently leading the way and dominating this race. As he usually does in that race. 1.0 in it for the race lead currently. Fastest lap going down at Badness. Now Akari 122.266. I think someone further back might match that. Gabo has to come into the pits then. Does he have damage, or are they trying something else? We'll stand at Nissan. Into the pits comes Gabo, and it's an early stop from Nissan Nismo. So they're going to try and do something that the rest of the teams won't even think of doing, pitting first. Well, someone has to pit first. It's the race that nobody really wants to do. They want to go as long as possible with their tyres and make the least amount of stops possible. But Revo's going to get attack mode, we believe. No, he's not. He's not going to get attack mode unless he... Was he within a second down that back straight further? Well, no, he wasn't, so he won't get the attack mode to use. And it is still Ocampo from Revo, from Badness, from Akari, from Maldonado, the top 5 as it has been for quite the while. Mealres with a time penalty for colliding with the back of Marcus Nelson's Lamborghini Maker car. That's a very deep lunge, and Marcus Nelson is out. And Lawrence Leclerc hits the back of that car. It was now out of the Eprix. Out has gone Marcus Nelson. Oh, Mealres definitely forced him very wide there. As into the pits come the race leaders. That is Ocampo in, Ravo in, Akari in, Maldonado in. But Babner stays out. Babner staying out. And he picked up a 5-second time penalty. Don't remember where he picked it up. We've got 10 laps to the check-in then. And for these guys who've stayed out, their main job is to stay out of the barriers at turn 1. And that's not been the simplest task. As Vasichan and Tan has actually gone out of the race in the pit lane. He's gone out in pit lane exit. Oh my goodness me. And Nissan's day goes from bad to worse, to absolutely awful. Note on Ravo and Akari then, there is a massive gap between those guys. 5 seconds. It's really just pinnacle not having the quickest stops back there. So for Akari right now, he just needs to close in. Got the fastest lap. Ocampo also pit, and well, he's Ocampo. He's 8th currently. He's going to be able to get ahead of his teammate and Carlos Sainz. There he goes to 6th position. And the question is, does he dare try and make a lunge on Leo for 5th? No, he doesn't. But his teammate does try and make a lunge on Carlos Sainz, and that works out quite well. So that's Bogsarov to 7th and Ocampo to 6th. These two are making up positions in tandem, it seems. As, into the wall, out of the race, has gone Ravo. Ravo out of the Eprix. Where is that hyperdrive car? I guess we'll never know, because we caught on to that way too late. But for the hyperdrive racing squad, they've been making some massive moves up the constructors table. And today, it's not going to be one of those days they're going to want to remember. The new team's actually coming to a head on this lap, but Camino and Leo staying out there. So it's Camino from Leo, from Ocampo, and Ocampo right on the back of that pinnacle car. He's ready to bust the ram if he needs to. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, I'm not from that part of the US. I'm not even from the US. Watching so many cars come through, almost into the wall. Wazina found us after just leaving pit lane. Gabo's come in for a second time. So his strategy and his strategic team, they failed him if you ask me. If he's still down in last after the rest of the field has come in to make their pit stops, then seems like a bit of a failure if you ask me. And there goes Sebastian Ocampo to the lead of the Eprix. Ocampo leads here in Texas with 9 laps left to run. And Leo, he sends it. That was very close between the two cars there. Almost colliding. Luckily they didn't there. And he has hit him! Camino has hit Leo! Virtual safety car called. And what implications could this have in terms of the playoff? Because Leo seems to be very vulnerable to dropping out of the playoffs. And that is how you know it, because he's out now. 4 cars have retired from the C3 in just 5 laps. Virtual safety car is ending now, as into the pits has just come Sebastian Ocampo. David Camino will have to follow him through, so it's Pastor Maldonado leading the way. And Akari, where is Akari in all of this? Is he ahead? He is ahead, but he hasn't stopped for a second time. Babness up into 3rd, but he does have a time penalty. He's closing in on Mealres, who has the most seconds worth of time penalties out there. 10 seconds to the Renault Edam's car's name. Pastor Maldonado with the fastest spare sector. They're going side by side. They're really hampering each other over this position. They're still side by side, as are Sanchez and Akari behind. Cable might even want to try and fight for a 3-way. That's Mealres up into 2nd, and Sanchez weaving like a madman. Same with Akari and Cable theoretically. So it is Sanchez still totally ahead in this fight for 4th. Who's not trying to make a position? Why, it's Lawless Leclerc, of course, who sends it down the inside. on the ball he could. Into 6th goes Leclerc, and Akari drops almost to 7th there. He's under threat from both Skodas, managing where he is to make up, and he doesn't get wrecked by either one of the Skoda cars. They are like 2 vultures to him, who are trying to pick him off. There goes MS1 World ahead up at number 10, and does the 90 car try and get past. Oh, that's very late braking, as into the pit comes Akari. And that was very worrying for the number 10 crew. That easily could have been day over. As Ocampo sends it on his own teammate. Dr. Star forced to let his teammate by. Dr. Star, he hasn't really ever fought for a World Drivers' Championship. He's been fighting with his teammate for the team's championship. He doesn't really care about the drivers, is what we can tell from his driving style. He has rarely ever won a race in this championship. He rarely does. It's now halfway distance. Seto Campo closing in on the Skoda of Tato Schumacher. He does get ahead, and that's MS1 was quite a ways ahead. Can he actually close in? No, he's not going to be able to do it. Fabulous he's putting a threat on Castro Maldonado here. 3/10 of a second. That's the gap between the race leaders. And 2/10 of a second is all Fabulous needs to try and think about making a run. He probably needs a little less if he actually wants to make that run. Because he's dropped off as out of the race. Has gone Bob out. And that seems to have been an aerial incident there. That Renault Edam's car. And it seems like, iWorld involved in it heavily. 5-second time penalty to his name. And missing both parts of his front wing. And that's going to hold up everyone there. That's going to actually allow so many drivers to come into the pit with little worry of where they're going to be. Akari came out of the pits in last place. This man is having no luck in the state today. He's got so much luck in the Sin City, and it just seems like you get the soul for a soul. You get to win in the Sin City, but you have to have so much turmoil in other places as, that is. Someone's got a problem in the 3rd sector. What is the problem in sector 3? That's been cleared, but I think must have been Gabo hitting the barriers or something like that, because there were yellows flying in sector number 3, and we don't know what they were for. And I guess we'll never know. It is Ocampo leading from the Tato Schumacher and the 2 Jaguars then. As down the inside goes on up on this 5th place for the silver, black and blue hyperdrive car. Barely distinguishable from the Mercedes cars and the Jaguars. The car is currently side by side with Bamness. He's really a man on the move. Up into that position as, into the wall has gone Sebastian Ocampo. He's lost his front wing and has been forced to come into the pit. It's Camino. He's been closed in by his own teammate. He gets ahead, if not because he needs to pit. Rather, he was just a little bit quicker. And I do believe it must have been, he hit that inside wall and just found all the strength he needed to turn in to get himself into the pit. That could have been him out of the Eprix. But luckily for all of you Ocampo fans, he's still in this one. And he's ahead of his main championship rival with 5 laps left to run. And for Akari right now, he is praying on Ocampo's downfall. He is praying that something goes wrong with the number 1 car. Because if not, then Ocampo would be on really good footing to become the first driver in a long while to take home 2 consecutive World Drivers' Championship victories. He could even try and take home 2 consecutive World Constructors' Championship victories, but Pinnacle are currently quite a ways ahead of him. Can he try and think of sending a lunge? No, he doesn't, because Tiguanas was lunging for it anyway. Ocampo's still on the back. He's alongside Tiguanas, and he is forced him into the wall! Into the wall does go Ocampo! Tiguanas faces wrong direction! Ocampo hits the barriers with a 5-second time penalty. Akari has also been punted there. And they're both going to come into the pits at the end of this lap. Tigranes has got to come in. Akari's coming in because of tyre wear issues. So it's all going to be manageable for all of these three drivers as long as they can keep it out of the barriers. And oh, that's out! Camino out, flipping his car. And it's a little bit of a free pit stop if you decide to come into the pits now. Oh my goodness me, that was so hectic. Ocampo's coming to the pits for his 4th time in the Eprix. 82% tyre wear, 82. That's Tigranes' fault, if you ask me. But they gave Ocampo the time penalty. It was such a similar incident to Perez and Sainz at Azerbaijan. But now for Akari. He's been given the reins. He needs to close in 2 seconds. Not even really 2 seconds. He just needs to be within 5 seconds of Ocampo. But the gap between those two is close to being over 5 seconds. He really needs more harm to come Ocampo's way here, because that 5 seconds is not enough, and he is 2 cars away from him, so it's really not going to be enough for him. But for Pastor Maldonado, he's got 4 laps to show everyone how he's just able to win races is when he's available to. He does decide to come in, but you can't really blame him. 32% on the dash. So it's going to be Cable who's going to lead this race on lap 11 of 14. Not going to make it to the end, we don't think. And VSC, CHE, and Leclerc for the 2nd time running. He's in the middle of the track there. He's right in the middle of the track, is he? Oh, he goes to thank God. Oh, that would have been a massive pile-up. But for the 12 races, no points for Leclerc. 12 races, no points. This man's fall-off needs to be studied in university. How can he go from winning Monaco in his first year in Formula 1 to barely even able to get 11th in Formula E? And a reminder, he was in the FMC's 11th, 12th, and 13th, and now 15th season. He skipped out last season. Might not have even been in season 14 or 13, we believe. We do need to recheck that. We don't know. Closing speed for Ocampo. He's 2 seconds off the back of Daf Sanchez and Carlos Sainz. He's not close enough to get himself any higher than 10th. So for Akari, championship hope's still alive, because every point Ocampo gets is a point against Akari here. So he doesn't want anyone ahead of Ocampo to crash out if it doesn't take Ocampo. But Sanchez is all over the back of Carlos Sainz. So Sainz could be a major issue for the Pinnacle team. And into the pit comes basically everyone behind him. Has gone Carlos Sainz out of the Eprix. And that would have put Ocampo in the top 10. But he's decided to come in. I think Akari is also going to have to come in. He stays out. Akari has stayed out. This man has had so much misfortune today. If he can get a single point, you'd count it as a win. We would all count it as a race win. It would feel like a race win for the number 10. But we'll only know once the checkered flag falls. We go back racing then. And Ocampo is only in 11th. Last time he came into the pit during yellow flags, well, he wrecked. So if he was to close into Milrez, there's no saying what the Swede would do. But we don't know. The real fight, however, is for 4th position between Cable, Suo, and Schumacher. Cable actually a little bit darting away here. Sanchez drops down to 8. The 2 Skoda cars working in tandem to get past every threat that comes their way. And they're actually right beside each other now. You don't want to be beside each other coming through the 3rd sector. It's very tight as into the wall has gone Theodore Schumacher, losing his front wing with only 2 more laps left to run. We're on to the penultimate lap. If you're riding on board with Pastor Maldonado, which you're not, because you're not a Sky Q or Sky Q Plus customer, is out of the race. It's gone Theodore Schumacher. Schumacher out of the Eprix. And where is Akari? Akari has peeled into pit lane. And Ocampo here. He's gonna be ahead. It's very tense if you're in that Pinnacle team pit box. iWorld has come in, so you're not gonna benefit too much from him. We've got 13 runners left in the Eprix, and Akari is going to be 11th of those 13 with an opportunity at points, but he's not going to benefit from Ocampo's woes. But he should be able to close in quite a bit. So it's Maldonado from Babinus, from Bob Cesaro, from UK Ball, and Suo, and the top 5 all with heavily worn tyres. His MF1 World tyres have been less worn. Milrez, 10 seconds worth of time penalty. There have been so many incidents in this race, so many wrecks, and yet this race doesn't really feel like it's had the one thing that so many other races have had that have made them great, and that is the racing element. Sanchez going side by side with Tigranes, going into the braking zone, and Sanchez up into 9th position. And he's safe to chase down Ocampo. Onto the final lap we go. And there's rain. Rain falling here in Austin, Texas. As drivers now approach the first few turns. My goodness me, this was not on my bingo card for the Eprix. Sebastian Ocampo sending a fastest third sector, and he's got an almost definite 8th position in here, maybe 9th. UK Ball setting the fastest first sector of anybody. But for everyone, it's going to have to be very tentative here. Akari needs to get past Tigranes. Every point matters. So if he can get past him, it would help him out unbelievably so in his hope of getting a first World Drivers' Championship. Sanchez is nowhere near the back of Ocampo with that 5-second penalty. So Ocampo should hold on to his position. UK Ball closing in on Babinus. Out in front, it is still Pastor Maldonado. And he should be safe to the check-in, but it is so close. It's the turmoil for all of these drivers. Babinus on 15% worn tyres, but coming into the penultimate turn, it is Pastor Maldonado who will win another unbelievable Eprix. Pastor Maldonado runs the final turn. He sees the checkered flag, and Maldonado wins. And out of the Eprix has gone in at Babinus for Hyperdrive Racing. So Akari will come home with a single point, but his championship rival Sebastian Ocampo will take home much more than just one measly point. The championship will still be alive for Akari, but today was just not the greatest race for that. Yeah, so Ocampo will remain 7th. He will get hit after all that, but Ari, we believe, yeah, he's going to have to remain 10th, as he's not within 10 seconds of Nero's fastest. 12 drivers finished this race, 10 drivers retired, so let's take a look at our podium then, here in Austin, Texas. This is the podium. Pastor Maldonado wins. The Hungarian driver in the 99 wins a race in, once again, acrimonious circumstances. Then it's UK Ball and Daniel Balthasar at the top 3. Then it's Yuki Suo, MF1 World, and Seb Ocampo, Dav Sanchez, and Neil Rez the top 8. Jacko Tigranes is 9th from Akari. Then it's iWorld, T. Gabo, your finishers, your non-finishers were Ian Babinus, Theodore Schumacher, Solos Sainz, Lala Leclerc, David Cameron, Bob, Leo, Raybo, Russell Chantam, and Marcus Nelson. In the driver standings, that gap has opened up to 15 points between Ocampo and Akari. And you can read through the rest of the standings for yourself at home. in the Constructors, going into the next round of the championship in Jeddah. Femc reclaimed the top step in the Constructors, 205 points, compared to Pinnacle's 192. 30 points back is Toyota Gazoo, who have overtaken Hyperdrive Racing in its 100 Grand Prix. To Skoda, Volkswagen, Lamborghini Mako, Jaguar, Renault Edams, Nissan Nismo, and Mercedes FE. See you guys next time then for the Saudi Arabia or Jeddah Eprix.